What's going on, Theology fam? It's your girl Maya Wilson here, and I am back with a very, very special guest. One woman that I've had the pleasure of knowing for the last, I feel like it's almost a decade now. Is it a decade?
Might be a little bit more than that.
Might be a little bit wherever that, but Miss Khalliah Bryant is on the podcast today. Would you please introduce yourself to our audience today?
Yes, thank you for welcoming me. You are a gift. You really
Oh,
are. And I have been looking up to you since undergrad.
stop. We just started.
Like,
I'm gonna cry. Stop.
I'm just saying, you got me going. But yes, thank you again for having me. My name is Khalliah Bryant Tull. We working on it. We got a little hyphenation
Oh,
going.
excuse me. I'm sorry, Dom. My bad.
No, right. He be checking me. He's like, "Oh, you left your." But yes, I am a mother of two. I'm a wife. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist here in Jacksonville, Florida. I am a community liaison. Jane of all trades, many
Mhm.
things on purpose has been my new slogan lately. So I just I have a desire to help people throughout their transitions because I've found myself in so many different disorienting transitions in life.
Mm.
And I just want other people to know that there is light on the other side of their
Mhm.
experiences. So, yeah, that's what I do. That's who I am.
That's so good. I'm so excited to have you on. Okay, let's start right away with just the transition work. Can you maybe give like a testament of what transitions happened for you personally that kind of
Mhm.
illuminated some of the gaps in the care that you provide for your clients that you're like, seems like I'm not the only one that's struggling with this particular transition, and it's something across the board that people seem to struggle with.
Yes. So I would say my biggest transition that I still am navigating through is my relationship with my mother.
Mm.
We have had a quite a complex relationship over the years, and our relationship has manifested in so many different ways, um, down to how we get along with each other, how we talk to each other, up to my experience in foster care. So I experienced foster care when I was around 14 years old. Um, and just the transition of being in the system, in the DFAC system, or DCF is what we call it here. Um, and so that was a big transition because that's where I experienced my first bout of anxiety and depression. Um, my brother, like, and seeing how he has navigated his mental health and being a witness to that, and just by everything, like my family structure, all of those things has played a part into why I do the work that I do. Because I don't know, a light bulb came on when I was a child where I looked around, I was like, something is not right here. Like, y'all are not okay. We are not okay.
Mhm.
And there's got to be a better life than what we're going through right now. And so from that point on, I've been a little mini therapist from childhood, um, all the way up to college, where I was set to do therapy. So that's been, if I wouldn't do anything else, it'll probably be a little bit of cooking. I'll probably be a little chef in my next lifetime, um but yeah, that was one transition, one example of one.
Yeah, that's good. I have
Mhm.
been seeing your work on mother wounds a lot, and I'm very curious about that because I have had conversations with my own mom about just kind of her relationship with my granny, her mom, and just how a lot of the like way she parented me was like a very much like I'm not gonna do what my mom did. So just
Yeah.
kind of like contrasting that. Can you kind of maybe dive in a little bit more to like what exactly is a parent wound?
Hmm.
And like, how does someone know that they have it? And what are the steps to kind of repairing a parent, a mother or a father wound?
Yes. So a mother or a father wound is basically a very poetic way of saying that you have an attachment wound, or there's a lapse in your attachment with your caregiver. So it
Mm,
doesn't even have to be your mother or father. It could be with the whoever raised you. And so when you don't have what's called a secure attachment with your mother or father, you create a psychological or emotional gap or malap that maladaptation
Mm,
um, in how you connect with others, how you connect with yourself, how you navigate the world, how you see the world, what you believe in. All of those things start with your attachment or lack thereof with your parent.
mm,
Um, and more specifically, the mother wound. So the father wound is basically daddy issues. That's what we hear a lot. The mother wound is that lapse in secure attachment with your mom. And the reason why I speak about them separately is because we get different things from different parents.
mm,
We get a sense of safety and physical security from our fathers, whereas with our mothers, it's more emotional because they're the ones that give us to the world, and um, they're the ones that take care of us and nurture us. And when you don't have that secure attachment, you have to figure things out on your own, essentially.
mm.
And so a lot of what I've experienced was as a result of not having a secure attachment with my own mother. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. When someone is like coming into services with you and they're acknowledging, like, okay, I don't have a secure attachment with my mother, my father, my caregiver. What is that process like to kind of like one, recognize that and also then try to take the next steps? That has to be a huge weight on a person to even realize because
Yes.
as you're a child, as you're a kid, I mean, you only know your household. So once you get out into the world and you're like,
Mhm.
wait a minute now.
Yep.
What is that like realizing and then what's the kind of recovery path once someone recognizes that's what they're dealing with?
Yeah, that's a really good question because that's like one of the most powerful first steps in realizing that I might need to go to therapy about this. It's recognizing it. It's realizing like, okay, I have something going on. And a lot of my clients don't really have the words for it. We
Mm,
discover it in session. So
mm,
that's why when you come to therapy, we go through your family history. And that's where I learned the most about somebody. Like I learned about how close you were or weren't with your parents. I
mm,
learned about how they handle conflict. I learned about how your whole family handles conflict. And if there are things like substance abuse or other mental health issues that are fluent in your family system, then that tells me a lot about how you navigate the world and how you see the world in
mm,
general. So, um, something is just off. And you might even say, I'm tired of the conflict in my relationships. I'm tired of running into the same problem over and over again. In your dating life, I'm tired of dating the same person in different bodies.
mm,
That's the type of language that I hear, and they don't necessarily point to attachment wounds per
mm.
se. Yeah.
That's good. First step is recognizing it. Okay, switching
Yep.
gears a little bit here. If you pull up Khalliah's Instagram, she is out here, y'all. She every single time that she comes on my timeline, community event, community event, community gathering. I'll be like, yes, girl. I
You're
wanted
like, how did I get here?
Girl, the Lord put you there, period. What you just described was from a young age, you have had like a healing gift. And like we need healers. We need healers in our community. And you've done the work personally to be able to be involved in other people's healing. I want to talk about community because I was speaking with another guest that like so much of like the pop psychology space and the therapy space online, and I say therapy with air quotes, right?
Yes.
It's I feel like there's a huge bend towards individualism. Like
Mhm.
your piece, your like it's very individual. Can you just talk about some of your community efforts and why community is so important when it comes to mental health and it can't just be like an individualist effort?
That's that's so funny you mentioned like the pop culture of individualism because I feel like we're trying to move more into community things, and that's like a buzzword now, like community, but we're still
Yeah.
functioning under individualistic values.
Mm-hmm.
There's still buzzwords like boundaries, which are good. Like, I'm not, you know, denouncing any type of boundary. We need boundaries, but it's more like set rules rather than boundaries, which are to protect your peace.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then people don't have the full framework of even how to set things like boundaries. And so the good bell hooks says you cannot heal in isolation. You
Come on
can't.
now. Mm-hmm.
Like, there are psychological studies, and thank goodness for ethics, right? Because there are like old psychological studies where they leave a child. I know this is random. They'll leave a child without human touch, without being around other people, and the child will literally pass away
Mm-hmm.
because it needs, like, we all need to be touched. We all need to be felt and heard and empathized with and mirrored. And that's another way of releasing our burdens onto
Mm-hmm.
others. I truly feel that if there's somebody in the world that has some sort of answer to a problem that you have, outside of God, of course, um, but that's why we need to be able to know how to be in community with one another and know how to communicate, and know how to resolve in conflict instead of just cutting each other off.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one of those like individualistic values that it's like, oh, I'm not going to deal with that person anymore. I'm just going to cut them off.
Mm-hmm.
And so going back to the mother wound, we're doing the mother wound workshop, and we're not teaching people how to cut their mothers off. We are talking to the people who still have to deal with their moms, who still have to
Mm-hmm.
navigate their relationships with their moms. And so we are teaching valuable skills on how to hold your own and be able to advocate for yourself and your needs. That's the piece of individualism that I'm like, okay, we can keep that part,
Mm-hmm.
you know? We don't have to get rid of that. But in the name of community holding, we need to also learn how to navigate conflict. And that's just one example of how to show up in community.
Yeah, that's good. I heard you say before we got on the call and also just now like the show up part.
Mm-hmm.
Um, can you just talk to kind of the importance of that, whether it's your therapy journey, whether it's communally, whether it's professionally, like what have you kind of seen in your showing up in the last few years of just in your practice, but also just individually, like the value of like being present?
Yeah, that's good. Well, first off, like, when you don't show up, nobody knows you exist on the most literal level. And when nobody knows you exist, they don't know that you have needs.
Mm,
And if no one knows you have needs, those needs won't get met.
yeah.
So it just goes like that. And so the first thought is, I have needs that I need met, and I need connection, and I'm able to name those needs. I need to at least show up to the space. And I wasn't always like talking and being friendly with everybody and, like, being outgoing. I was the one in the corner, like, quiet, like, but I showed up.
Mm,
And you can be that person. You can be that person that just shows up and somebody notices that and they come up to you and they speak to you. And next thing you know, y'all are connecting. Um, so for me, it was a journey of not hiding anymore. I'm a hider. I'll hide. Like, if I don't feel like being seen, I'm gonna hide and I'll go
mm,
ghost. But like I said, my needs were left unmet in that way. And there are people out here that want to help, but they don't know unless they're doing charity or something like that. But even then, you still have to show up. So,
mm. That's
mhm.
good. That's good, sis. I want to bring up, I might put a clip of it in the podcast, but you had a reel that I still think about today. But you were talking about how there's like certain things that we engage in like every day that may heighten our anxiety and depression.
Yes.
And I feel like it low key went viral a little bit because,
Yeah,
like,
that's a throwback. That was a goodie. Yeah.
girl, I was like, "Oop, not her talking about me." But, but, I wonder sometimes, like, I do feel like as a collective, as a society, like we're recognizing the need for more mental health care, and we're recognizing like that there's some things that we need to address mentally that maybe we've like neglected. But in the same way, we have like some individualist habits that we're still trying to parse out when it comes to community. What have you seen that like are just habits across the board that maybe like kind of worsen our mental health that we're kind of like, oh, this is normal. This is something that everybody does, but we don't see it as like damaging to our mental health because we're like, oh, well, everybody does it.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna think it through
Go for it.
because one that sticks out or pops up in my head is our technology use.
Mm,
Everybody's texting and communicating in on email and text messages and video. Video's cool, I guess, but it's still like that separation.
mm,
Like there's a you're literally hiding, you're still separated by a black mirror, essentially.
yeah.
And there's some things that you can kind of hide and keep away from others when you're just texting or when you're just on your phone. But it's
Mm,
normal. It's normal to just text somebody and say, I'm just hitting you up. That's not the same thing as knocking on somebody's door and saying, hey, I ain't seen you outside.
mm,
Where you been at? You've been in this house all day. Well, come on out. Let's go. Let's go somewhere.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
different than a phone call.
Mm,
Because a phone call, I can rehearse and I can say, oh, everything's cool. Same old,
mm,
same old. So that's one thing that I feel like if we don't get a hold on it or find a new way, especially with the advancement of AI,
yeah.
we gonna find ourselves with our own little specialized robots going out into the world doing our work for
Mm,
us.
oof.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's not that far fetched. And so I don't want to go conspiracy theory, but
Please
you
do.
know,
I got my
that's
hat on now.
that's one example of
Yeah.
how we choose. So whenever I'm doing anything, I'm thinking about how am I actually connecting with XYZ. Um, that's why like when I'm around my children, I have to make sure that I'm not like unconsciously holding my phone,
Mm,
because I thought about it one time and I was like, I carry this thing everywhere I go. I'm like it's like latched to me.
mm,
And our children notice that.
yes.
And who's to say what they're gonna do when they finally get their phone?
Mm,
They'll be attached to it just like we are.
mm.
So that's one example.
Let's go to the music tip. That's a good place to start.
Okay, so I have divested away from like rap music. I don't want to hear it. But shout out to hip hop because of the historical value that it gives to our culture, right?
hmm
But one thing my dad told me one time was if you want to know the state of the society that you're in, listen to their music.
mm.
Listen to their mainstream music. You cut on the radio and what you get. Uh well, I can't even name none. Who what's the girl Red
Sexy
um
red.
Sexy Red. And I know that's like an extreme, that's an
Yeah,
extreme like example.
but still.
But okay, you're listening to this music and while you're just having fun with it, I know women in particular listen to people like Megan Thee Stallion and all the hot girls, and it gives a sense of empowerment.
Mm.
But I listen to words,
Yeah.
and I'm repeating these types of words that I really can't relate to, honestly, and I'm just saying them for fun. I know that unconsciously I am planting a seed of distraction. I'm planting a seed of discord. I'm planting a seed of conflict in my relationships and how I view men, that was for me, that was the biggest one. How I
Mm,
started to view men. And we just bibbity bopping and twerking to the music,
yeah.
with no care in the world.
Mm,
Um, but I want people to think more about what's happening on the unconscious side
mm-hmm,
and what we are internalizing and
mm.
how that's kind of coming up in our everyday life.
For sure. These are
Mhm.
your windows. What you
Yes.
gonna let in? Yeah. I think that way so much about hip hop too because I am such a hip hop fan. And there is a great book. I can't think of the author right now, but the name of the book is called When the Chicken Heads Come
Oh
Home.
my God.
And girl, such a great title, first of all. But it was written like in 2001 or 2002, older book. But she just talks about just like she's a black feminist writer, and she talks about just the shift in hip hop music and how hip hop used to really talk about a lot of the issues in our community. So it talked about drug use and crime and violence, but it did it in a narrative side. I wasn't trying to perpetuate it. It was talking about the realities of life. And now
Yes.
instead, it's like you're focused on perpetuating and even glorifying that violence instead of
Yes.
telling a story. And she talks about that shift. She talks about just the shift in the ways that women were talked about and how even though like there is this marketing of like, look at how empowering we're being, it's still this like very there's still a lot of misogynoir very much present
Yes.
and a hatred of women and a degradation between the relationships of men and women because let's be very clear like tricking culture it's degrading the relationship specifically between black men and black women. So I completely agree with you there, and this is coming from a hip hop head. I love hip hop music, but there are sometimes I'm like, what exactly?
What are
And
we talking about?
what
Like,
are we talking about here? What are we talking about? You and I are both married women. I'm like, I have no interest in talking about my husband or any other man that's made in the image of God like this. And I would hope that my brothers wouldn't want to talk about their sisters in the same way. So
yes.
what you're saying is so true that like there is an internalization, even with like true crime media. I was like, I can't watch this stuff no more.
Oh yeah.
This is too
My
much.
anxiety through the roof. I can't turn it
Yes.
off.
Now I'm at the grocery store, like, am I next to a serial killer right now? What's happening?
Oh Lord.
Like, but those are things that out of the capitalist machine, which is just trying to throw you anything to keep you entertained, even if that thing is damaging to your soul, they just throwing stuff at the wall. Will they
Yep.
listen to it? Will they consume it? And like you just said, I'm sure that's perpetuating so much of the issues that we already
Mhm.
have. We're winding up here, but you talked earlier about attachment styles. Um, do you have any resources for people who are trying to learn more about their attachment style? Okay. No, I gotta
Yeah,
put you on the
you
spot.
should see my all my setup right now.
Let's see.
But yes, sorry, finish your question.
Yeah, I just I feel like that's also becoming a buzzword also in the pop psychology space is like attachment style, anxious attachment. What are like some concrete resources people can look
Yeah.
into?
I mean, if you are in your earliest stages of realization, this book here, I hope it's not like backwards. You can flip
Ooh.
it. Um, the adult children of emotionally immature parents. This talks about all the things. I don't know how often it uses the term attachment style, but it uses language that you can understand.
Mm,
And I learned so much about not just myself, but my parents and realizing like, dang, there's a name for that. And
mm.
that's actually not healthy. And we should do something about that. So that's a good first starter. Let's see, another attachment style. Let's see if I got anything
Come on,
here.
library.
Let me see. Attachment theory for my other therapists, for my other healers, I'll say. If you work with clients and they bring up the attachment thing,
Mhm.
attachment theory and practice, I really like this. resource because it talks about it from an emotionally focused therapy point of view. So for for anyone looking for a therapist and you are wanting to work on the attachment wound, then that is a type of therapist that you need to be looking for. You need to ask that therapist, are you trained in EFT or emotionally focused therapy?
Mm-hmm.
Because, or family systems.
Mm-hmm.
Family systems is what I'm trained under as well. So a licensed marriage and family therapist can help you with your attachment styles, amongst other therapists. It just depends. I just wanted to emphasize how important it is to vet your therapist if you're looking for one and really ask them about their credentials
Mm-hmm.
because you want to get as specific about your issues as possible. And if you go into somebody that only work with eating disorders, you don't need to be talking about, you know, the attachment thing. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's those are two resources that I would share.
I love it. I love it. Okay, my friend, we're about to sign off here. This has been a
Oh,
wonderful conversation.
soon.
We need to take a trip. You and me must never
I
part.
know. We gotta look off camera.
Yeah.
We gotta catch up. Long
We do.
overdue.
We do.
I'm
For
ashamed.
all of yes, for all of our listeners, where can they find you? Whether it's on socials, whether they're interested in your practice. Also plug your workshop that's coming up. Please, please, please tell us all the things.
Yes. You can find me on Instagram. My personal Instagram is with Khalliah. And then my business Instagram is More Life Wellness LLC. And you can find me at my website, morelifewellnessllc.com, for all of my therapy services. I do offer coaching if you are not in the state of Florida as well. And I do have my workshop coming up. It
Yeah,
is, yeah, it's coming up in May. Well, we in May pretty much now. Um, Lord, the time.
it is.
The Mother Wound Workshop is May 23rd here in Jacksonville, Florida. Um, we will be at the Emerald Station. Hold on, I'll get my facts together if necessary. We'll be at the Emerald Station Community Lounge at the Phoenix Arts District area, and it's going to be an intimate space. So it's not going to be this big, huge group of people. Um, if you want to learn more about the Mother Wound Workshop and any of my other content, y'all need to join my email list because I send out different writings and I'm trying to get back into my writing. So that's
Yes.
my outlet now. So yeah.
I love it. Thank you so
Mhm.
much, Khalil. I'm so thankful for you. Thank you for being on the podcast today.
You're so welcome.